You know that feeling when you meet someone who seems perfect on the surface, but something deep in your gut screams danger? Everyone else loves them. They're charming, successful, beloved by colleagues and friends alike. But you feel it. Something is fundamentally wrong with this person. And here's the thing that drives you crazy. You can't prove it. Not yet. You have no concrete evidence, just this gnawing sense that they're wearing a mask. People think you're being too harsh, too judgmental. Maybe you even start doubting yourself. But what if I told you that feeling isn't paranoia? It's your brain's sophisticated early warning system, detecting 8 specific psychological tells that most people never learn to recognize. Today we're diving into the 8 specific tells that INFJs use to expose manipulative and toxic people before they can do real damage. These aren't just hunches or lucky guesses. They're actual cognitive defense mechanisms that your INFJ mind has developed to protect yourself and others from psychological predators. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how your brain processes these danger signals and why your instincts about people are almost always right. Let's start with the most immediate detection system you have. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you're looking for a deeper understanding of yourself and your INFJ personality, browse our favorite INFJ products in the description and click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test. Tell 1, microexpression reading, and Tell 2, energy pattern recognition. Your INFJ brain processes facial expressions faster than conscious thought. While someone is speaking to you, your mind is cataloging tiny muscle movements around their eyes, the subtle tension in their jaw, the way their smile doesn't quite reach their pupils. These micro-expressions flash across a person's face in fractions of a second, but your intuitive processing catches them. Here's what's happening psychologically. When someone is being deceptive or manipulative, their conscious mind controls their words and major expressions, but they can't control every micro-muscle. A manipulator might say they're happy to help you, while their eyebrows briefly furrow in annoyance. They might claim to care about your feelings, while their lips compress in contempt. Most people miss these signals because they're focused on the words being spoken. But your INFJ mind runs multiple processing streams simultaneously. You're hearing the words, but you're also reading the subtext written across their face. When these don't match, your internal alarm system activates. The second tell works hand in hand with micro-expression reading. Energy pattern recognition goes beyond what you can see to what you can sense. Every person carries an energetic signature, and manipulative people have distinct patterns that your intuitive radar picks up immediately. You notice when someone's energy feels heavy or draining, even when they're being superficially pleasant. You sense the underlying tension in someone who's trying too hard to appear relaxed. There's a psychological basis for this. People who are being deceptive or harboring malicious intent create what researchers call cognitive dissonance. They're holding contradictory thoughts and emotions simultaneously, and this internal conflict creates an energetic static that sensitive people like INFJs can detect. Think about it this way. When someone genuinely cares about you, their energy feels warm and consistent. When someone is calculating how to use you, their energy feels sharp and unstable. You might not be able to articulate exactly what feels wrong, but your body responds to these energy shifts before your conscious mind catches up. The combination of microexpression reading and energy pattern recognition creates a powerful early detection system. You're getting danger signals from multiple channels at once. The person's face is showing brief flashes of their true emotions, while their overall energy signature is broadcasting their real intentions. When both systems are sending you warnings about the same person, that's when you know something is seriously off. Tell 3, inconsistency cataloging, and Tell 4, value action mismatch detection. Your INFJ brain functions like a sophisticated pattern matching machine. And nowhere is this more powerful than when cataloging inconsistencies in people's stories and behavior. While most people forget the small details of conversations, your mind automatically files away meaningful information and cross-references it later. When someone tells you they were at work late on Tuesday, but 3 weeks later mentions being at their sister's birthday dinner that same Tuesday night, you notice. When they claim they never received your message, but later reference something from that exact message, your mental database flags the contradiction. These aren't random memory lapses you're catching. They're systematic patterns that reveal when someone is being deliberately deceptive. Manipulative people rely on others not paying close attention or not remembering details from weeks ago. They count on people being too polite to call out small inconsistencies. But your INFJ mind can't help cataloging these discrepancies. Each contradiction gets stored and weighted against the person's overall credibility score in your mental file system. What makes this particularly powerful is that you often test these inconsistencies. You might bring up the same topic weeks later to see if they tell the story the same way. You might ask clarifying questions that would expose a lie. You're not trying to trap them. You're trying to understand whether this person can be trusted with bigger things. The fourth tell builds on this foundation, but goes deeper into character assessment. Value-action mismatch detection is your ability to spot when someone's stated values completely contradict their actual behavior. This matters because manipulative people often use fake values as camouflage for their true intentions. Someone might constantly talk about loyalty while consistently betraying confidences. They might preach about honesty while you've watched them lie to multiple people. They might claim family is everything to them while treating their relatives terribly. Your INFJ mind notices these contradictions immediately because authenticity and integrity are core values for you. Here's what's psychologically fascinating about this process. Most people want to believe that others share their values, so they accept people's stated beliefs at face value. But your INFJ brain automatically runs a background verification process. You're watching their actions and comparing them to their words in real time. When someone's actions consistently contradict their stated values, your mind reaches a clear conclusion about their character. You understand that their words are performance, and their actions reveal who they really are. This creates a form of psychological immunity to manipulation, because you're evaluating people based on what they do, not what they say they believe. The emotional weight of seeing these patterns can be exhausting. You're often the only person in a group who notices when someone is being fundamentally dishonest about who they are. But this detection system protects you from investing trust in people who don't deserve it. Tell 5, emotional manipulation recognition. And tell 6, guilt trip immunity. Once your INFJ mind recognizes that someone is deliberately trying to manipulate your emotions, something fundamental shifts inside you. The empathy doesn't disappear, but it gets redirected from protecting the manipulator to protecting yourself and others from their tactics. Here's how this recognition process works. Initially, you might fall for emotional manipulation because your natural empathy makes you want to help people who seem distressed. Someone might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this," or "I'm so disappointed in you," specifically to trigger your desire to be seen as caring and supportive. But your pattern recognition system eventually notices that these emotional appeals always come with demands. The person consistently uses your empathy as leverage to get what they want. They manufacture crises that require your immediate attention. They create emotional emergencies that somehow always benefit them. When you realize someone is systematically using your kindness against you, you experience what I call righteous anger. This isn't the hot, explosive anger that burns out quickly. It's a cold, steady fury that comes from feeling betrayed by someone who claimed to care about you. You understand that they've been studying your emotional responses and weaponizing them. This realization creates a form of psychological immunity to guilt tripping. The 6th tell is your ability to recognize and deflect guilt-based manipulation once you've identified the pattern. When someone tries to make you feel guilty for having boundaries, for saying no, or for protecting yourself, you immediately recognize it as a manipulation tactic. Your response shifts from apologetic to analytical. Instead of thinking, maybe I am being too harsh. You start thinking, they're trying to manipulate me by appealing to my guilt. You begin calling out the pattern directly. You might say things like, "You're trying to make me feel guilty for having boundaries," or "I notice you only contact me when you need something." What makes this particularly powerful is that guilt tripping relies on the target feeling responsible for the manipulator's emotions. But once you recognize the pattern, you understand that their emotional state is not your responsibility. You can care about someone without allowing them to control you through manufactured guilt. The manipulator often escalates when guilt tripping stops working. They might accuse you of being cold or uncaring. But your INFJ mind has already processed their true intentions, and their escalation only confirms what you already suspected about their character. Tell 7. Character performance detection. And tell 8. Strategic withdrawal. The 7th tell is your ability to spot when someone is playing a character rather than being authentic. This detection system works because you yourself tend to be consistent across different social contexts. You might show different facets of your personality, but your core values and the way you treat people remain stable. When you observe someone who completely changes their personality based on who they're with, your authenticity radar starts flashing warning signals. You notice when they're charming and attentive with people they want something from, but dismissive and rude to people they consider beneath them. You see how they present themselves as confident and successful in group settings, but become whiny and victimized when they want sympathy. This character switching exhausts you psychologically because you're watching someone perform multiple false personalities while trying to figure out which one, if any, is real. You start testing their consistency by observing how they behave in different contexts. Do they treat service workers with the same respect they show to authority figures? Do they maintain the same values when they think no one important is watching? Usually, you discover that their character performances are strategic. They've learned to mirror what different people want to see, not because they're genuinely adaptable, but because they're calculating how to extract maximum benefit from each relationship. This realization leads directly to the 8th and final tell. Strategic withdrawal is perhaps the most powerful tool in your psychological defense arsenal. Unlike confrontational personality types, who might directly challenge manipulative people, you often choose to quietly distance yourself once you've identified someone as toxic or malicious. This withdrawal isn't passive or weak. It's a calculated decision based on your assessment that this person cannot be trusted or reformed. You understand that arguing with them or trying to expose them publicly might backfire, so you choose the strategic option of removing yourself from their sphere of influence. Your withdrawal often happens gradually. You stop sharing personal information. You become less available for their requests. You create emotional and physical distance while maintaining basic politeness. You're not trying to punish them. You're trying to protect yourself and minimize the drama that would come from direct confrontation. What's fascinating is that this strategic withdrawal often exposes the manipulative person more effectively than direct confrontation would. When you stop feeding their need for attention, validation, or resources, they often reveal their true nature by escalating their manipulation attempts or by moving on to easier targets. Other people eventually notice when someone they respected chooses to distance themselves from a particular person. Your quiet withdrawal plants seeds of doubt that grow over time. People start paying closer attention to the behavior patterns you spotted months earlier. Your ability to detect and respond to malicious people isn't just a personality quirk. It's a sophisticated psychological defense system that protects both you and your community. These 8 tells work together to create an early warning network that most people lack. Trust these instincts. They're usually right. If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos, where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.